2 races in, 2 dominant wins for Mercedes. And the paddock is not quiet. Ferrari have submitted footage to the FIA. Rival teams are talking. Because what Mercedes have brought to 2026 sits somewhere on the line between genius and illegal. 2 things have people worried. The Mercedes compression ratio appears to run higher than the legal 16:1 limit. And secondly, their active aero wing is allegedly closing in 2 phases. 15 seconds in Australia, 25 in China. Open and shut, right? Illegal car, strip the points. Even if the FIA rules against Mercedes tomorrow and they lose every disputed advantage overnight, Ferrari still might be losing. Ferrari is getting obliterated by Mercedes. 15 seconds in Australia, 25 seconds in China, and everybody's pointing the finger at Mercedes saying that their car shouldn't even be legal. But here's the question that nobody's actually asking. Is that even why they're losing? Before we get into it, please give me a follow if you're enjoying this video. I'm trying to get to 500 by mid-April. As I'm sure all of you know, there are 2 controversies swirling around Mercedes. The first is their compression ratio, which appears to run higher at an operating temperature. Yada, yada, yada. I won't go too much into that because we all know what it is. And the second is that their active aero wings are allegedly closing at different intervals. The first satisfying the FIA's 400 millisecond rule, but the second command bringing it to full closure is beyond the legal limits. Once again, allegedly. Ferrari has brought this to the FIA and they're currently investigating. But let's be honest about what these controversies are actually worth in lap time, because that's where the narrative starts to fall apart. Okay, first of all, the compression ratio advantage, which is set to end on June 1st. Very generous estimates put this at 20 to 30 extra horsepower, which is about 3/10 a lap. In the 2-phase wing, maybe a tenth, maybe nothing, depending on the circuit. If you add the 2 together, you're looking at most 4/10 per lap. But again, that's very generous. I'd say 2 to 4/10 a lap is a little more accurate. But if we go back to China, the gap between Mercedes and Ferrari was about 6/10 per lap. So even if you strip off every controversial piece on the Mercedes, they're still faster. The math just does not work in Ferrari's favor, unfortunately. I think the more interesting conversation is that it comes down to a fundamental engineering decision. A decision that the 2 teams made before the season even started. You see, Ferrari chose a smaller turbo, and the logic was sound. It would reduce lag and respond faster. They did this with the intention that they would dominate off the line, and as we've seen, that's worked for them. You simply can't deny that they look aggressive and reactive going into turn 1 no matter what track they're at, and the Haas bearing the Ferrari engine shows the same characteristics. And as it goes, Mercedes decided to go in the opposite direction with the larger turbo, which is better for energy recovery and sustained deployment down long straights. This is something that Hamilton himself even noted after China. So here's the brutal reality of 2026. The circuits so far at least have rewarded the Mercedes approach. Ferrari's smaller turbo is an exceptional weapon off the line, but it's not helping them with sustained race pace. And guess what? Ferrari already knows this, and it's been reported that they're planning a larger turbo for next year. To me, that feels like somewhat of an admission that they chose wrong. So back to the main question, is Mercedes cheating their way towards a championship this year? My view is this: the controversies are real and they should be investigated and resolved. They're just a garnish on top of what is fundamentally a better designed power unit. If the FIA closes both loopholes cleanly, and they likely will, this will become a 2/10 championship instead of a 6/10 one. And if we want to be a little more conservative, we'll say 2 to 3/10. But there is an optimistic side to all of this for Ferrari fans. If you ask me, a 2 to 3/10 championship is a very different season. With that, Ferrari at least has a chance to fight, or at the minimum take advantage of a bad pit stop. But until then, Ferrari aren't losing because of a 2-phase wing. They're losing because they bet on a smaller turbo and a season that rewards a larger one.